Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to discuss about communication and its meaning. Communication is actually sending or receiving messages. When we are living within a society, when we are living in this universe, we can find that everything on earth is communicating something or the other. Everything means everything: trees, earth, setting of this room, eyes, blinking of eyes, facial expressions, these hands, everything is delivering, and the words that are being spoken by me or by anybody, they are sending some messages. And it depends on the listener, on the receiver, that what his or her culture is, what his or her context is, what his or her understanding is. Actually, communication is agreeing on mutual understanding that I am, if I nod like this, or if I signal like this, it means that I am sending a message. And the person, if he or she is in contact with me, is attending me, and he or she is from the same culture and from the same society I am living in, the interpretation will be easy for that person. So communication is sending meaning, and on the other end, receiving meaning. We can find that everything around us, that chirping of birds, that blowing of wind, that rising of sun, everything, that the dress I am wearing, the posture I am having, etc., etc., everything is communicating some meaning, and we interpret every message according to our background, our context, our cultural bindings, and many more things. That so, in a nutshell, communication is sending and receiving messages. So the question arises, why do we communicate? We communicate for many purposes. Our objective of communication every time can be different. For example, we communicate to bring a change in the behavior of others. For example, if I say sit in a proper way, and the person who knows these words and the meaning of these words, he or she will be sitting in a proper way. If we are using some signals, for example, if I use this signal for a person, he or she will come to me. If we are sharing the meaning, the understanding is shared by both of us. Then sometimes we use communication to get actions done. For example, bring a glass of water, go out of the room, or signal. So such signals, or many signals like this, or words like this, they are used to get actions done. If we use if we use communication to get actions done, there are many things that we should consider. We should be clear in our commands, we should be clear in our messages, and there are many things that we should consider before we are going to deliver our message. And if sometimes it happens that if I, for example, say bring a glass of water, but the person on the other end is not understanding me, the message will be interpreted according to his context, and it is possible that he brings a glass of juice for me. So if we want that communication is done properly, message is communicated properly, we should be clear in our commands. Then sometimes we use communication to persuade others. We use to convince them on some points. It is our skill to tell people that what they should do. It is our skill to tell people how they should do. And it is our skill to convince people that why they should do. So it is a skill of the communicator to send the message in a way that it is the receiver is convinced to understand and to do the action accordingly. Then sometimes we just communicate to inform. For example, if I point a finger to a direction, it shows that I am informing a person that look this way, look at this side, something is there. So sometimes if I say it is raining outside, it is informing, and we use communication to inform others. Then communication is a recursive process. We use communication to get informed. So when I will tell you people that communication is something that is used to send and receive messages, you can in reply to this send me any message and I'll be informed about communication. Then I'm informing you about communication and you can give me an example and I'll be informed about that example also. So we can communicate through many ways. Like we communicate through our speech, we communicate through writing. When we speak, others are listening. So for speech, there is listening, and when we write, the other person will read. So communication includes speaking and listening, writing and reading, and then we use visual images. We use photographs, we use images, we use clip arts to communicate things. For example, traffic signals, traffic signboards on milestones, and signboards on different places which are using images to illustrate things. They don't use words, but we understand what they mean over there. An arrow on a signboard, on a roadside signboard, will tell us the direction of our journey. Then we also use our body language. If I am communicating with anybody and I don't keep eye contact, or I don't use my movements of my hands to bring emphasis in my words, I don't give expressions through my face, I don't use a proper posture, communication will be meaningless or less meaningful. So if we want to communicate meaningfully with speech, with our words, we have to use body language. And if we want to, if we are writing, with our writing, we have to use expressions and styles that bring clarity in our writing. Because communication, one main thing that communication needs is clarity, understanding. If our communication is not clear, if our audience do not understand what we are saying, if they are in a fix, if they are in a problem when they are communicated and they have to interpret, they do not understand what we are going to communicate, it will be problematic then.